What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Code Focus channel. Today I'm going to show you how to fetch data with React, whether it be a button click, then you fetch data, or when your component mounts, we'll fetch data. So we're just going to use a random API that I found on GitHub, and then we're going to set up just some React boilerplate, and I'll show you how to fetch data. So yeah, open up a random directory, any directory you want. Here mine is named 6 fetch data. It's just random, and open it up in VS Code and get your terminal open by doing Control asterisk, and then you can run npx create React app, and then period to install the React app in the current directory. So we're gonna let that install, and while that's installing, I'll show you how I came about this API. I just went to I went in Google and searched free APIs, public APIs, and the first result was on GitHub. It gives you all these free APIs here, super cool. And I just chose I went to animals and found, I think it was the duck one. Yeah, random duck, and then this is what it returns here. So if I refresh, you can see it is changing the URL, and then if we take this and open it up, you can see it's a random duck. So we're gonna use this to display on our React app, so it should be pretty cool. I'm gonna wait till this finishes up, and then we'll start building. Alright, so it finished, and what I did was run npm run start to launch the React app in our browser here. So everything is good to go. So what we'll do first is, I think we'll just go into index.js and copy all of this. Then we can just delete the source folder, like so, and we'll create a new source folder and make a index.js, and we can just paste this and get rid of all this stuff we don't need. Get rid of report web vitals, the CSS for index.css, and that's about it. And we'll save that, and then we're gonna need a app.js file, and then we can export a component from here. So we'll do export const app is equal to this arrow function. Okay, and this should work now. What is going on? App. Alright, then just make sure when you import app here, you import it like so, and we'll do return null. And then once you do that, you're going to want to restart the app by doing Control C and then running npm run start again, and this will restart everything. Okay, so now we'll go into our app.js, and here we're just returning null right now. So we're actually going to want to return a div just to see if this is working as expected, and we'll just put in hi, and we should see hi over here. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. So basically, let's say we had a button and we wanted to fetch our duck image when a user pressed that button. What we would do is create a button here by using an HTML button element, and we'll say click me for a duck, right? So when we click this, nothing happens. So what we'll need to do is put an on-click listener on this button, and we'll create a function within our component that will be used to handle this click. So we'll call it on-click handler, and we'll put it right here. And then in here, for now, we're just going to do console.log getting a duck, right? We click this in our console. In our console, we'll see getting a duck. Perfect. So if we keep clicking this, we'll keep seeing that. Okay, so now let us make the request. So yeah, we'll take this URL here, and we will just assign it to a constant above our component, right? We'll do const URL, do all uppercase, and we'll put that within a string. Okay, and now we'll take this URL and we will make another function. This will do it up here. Now we'll do it in here actually. Const. No, we won't. We're gonna do it up here. Okay. Const get duck random duck. Okay, and then we're gonna make this an async function. So put async before the function, and within here we'll use the fetch API, and we'll put the URL in here. Okay, and we'll say await because we need to await the API request. And since it's going to return a promise, then we'll assign this to a response variable. And for now, we'll just console.log the response, right? Okay, so we can call this function in our onClick handler, right? And when we go back to our React app and we click me for duck, let's see. Awesome. So we've got a CORS issue. Okay, so we're gonna scratch the duck API since we have to use CORS. It's set up with CORS, so we gotta find another one that doesn't use CORS. And I found this one, random dog. So yeah, just replace our URL constant up here with random.dog slash wolf.json, right? And it's basically the same response. We got our URL here. And yeah, so I guess these are not images, these are MP4s, which is fine. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, that works. We got a response here with our data. Okay, so let's first of all, let's change this to dog, and then change these to dog as well. Get random dog. Alright, so then on our response, we're going to call the .json method, and we'll await that as well. And our body, we'll send that to a variable. And when we click the button again, we'll see the URL is right here. Okay. So basically what we want to do with this data is apply it to state. So we'll do a use state here, and we'll say what do we want to do? I guess URL and then set URL. And our default state will be null because there is no URL at first. Okay, so from this get random dog function, we'll want to return our body.url, since the body is this object and the URL is a property within that object. So we'll return that property from this function. So since this is an async function returning a promise, we'll need to make the onClick handler async as well and await this, right? And then we'll assign the response to, I guess, another variable called URL, and we'll say set URL here and give it the URL. Okay, so that's good. And so this URL will get set to state, and then we can use the URL state variable within our JSX here, and we'll just display the string at first, I guess. So we'll make a span element here, and we'll put the URL right here. Okay, so if we refresh this and click the button, we'll see here is our URL. And if we open it up in the browser, there is our dog. Awesome. So yeah, it's basically how you are going to get data in React using a button. Okay, you're going to have a function that gets makes the response, or makes the request and then gets the response, and with that response you set that to state, and then once you have it in state you can do anything you want with it, right? So now let's say we come to this page and we want a dog to already be on the page before we click the button, right? And clicking the button would just get another dog. That's basically what we have right now. Every time we click this, it's gonna get a new dog, but we don't have the automatic dog on mount of the component. So to do that, we need to do a use effect hook here, and for the use effect you need a dependency array, and we're gonna leave it as empty for now. And so within this use effect, this will run every time the component mounts, and it'll only run once, no matter how many times the component updates. Unless we were to put something in this dependency array, then it would update every time something in that dependency array updates. So to show you how this works, we're just going to refresh the page, and you can see it renders once. Okay, so the reason it actually renders twice here, this was actually confusing for me for a bit, it's because we have React strict mode on. If we were to remove this, it's only going to run once. See? I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. So it runs twice here since we use strict mode. We're just going to get rid of that actually. Okay, so yeah, so now we're going to call the getRandomDog function within this use effect, right? Let's see. Let's put another function in here called fetch on mount, and we'll make this async, and we'll wrap it in a use callback. Okay. And within the fetch on mount, that's where we'll call our getRandomDog, and we'll await it. So we can do const URL is equal to await getRandomDog. We could actually just use our onClick handler, put it above here, and we'll just call the onClick handler within the use effect, like so. And we'll want to, if we were to include the onClick handler within the dependency array here, we would need to wrap this with a use callback, since every time the component re-renders, this also gets re-rendered, so this will fire off infinitely if we do that. So basically use callback will prevent it from re-rendering every time the component re-renders. But yeah, we just won't include it in the dependency right here. So yeah, so as you can see, when we refresh, it automatically gets a random dog for us, and if we click here, it's also going to get another random dog. Alright, that's basically it. I could do an image here. I'll just do that real quick. Let's do an image tag. I know some of these are MP4s, so that might be an issue, but we'll see. Source URL. There we go. Some of them don't work because they're MP4s, but you get the picture. Okay, we got our random dogs. That's awesome. Alright guys, that's basically it. Use effect for when you want to fetch data on the component mounting, and use an on-click handler for when you want to fetch data using a button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.